so this is what we're gonna do. This is your red and gold petite diced tomatoes and chilies. I've taken these and I've strained them off. The juice is here. Then I've taken them and rinsed them through a sieve or a colander, whatever you have, use whatever. But we're just trying to take away some of the excess spice so it's not overly spicy. We have our gremolata here, which you have all the ingredients for already. This is kind of what we're looking for in the consistency. Like I told you, all the oil floats to the top. It's lemon zest, parsley, basil, salt, pepper. Usually a little crushed red chili, but we're going to leave that out since we're using the spicy chilies in the other part of the sauce. Garlic, salt, pepper, your bacon lardons, your bacon fat. So this is all the ingredients you have to use if they're sponsoring. Your red onion, your different types of olives, whatever you can find, hand torn, washed capers, a couple half lemons. Right here, this will be a finisher. This is the shaved fennel that we've done. We have a little bit of fennel frond here. I have some micros. If you have them, awesome. If not, whatever. Then a little bit of the shaved radish and some broccolini. So we have a piece of salmon here. Let's go ahead and get our pan hot right here. We have 3 pans, one for the sauce in the middle, one for the broccolini, one for your salmon. Salmon pan is going to be your nicer pan, whatever's going to stay the flattest. We want to get it really hot before we do anything to it. We'll season our fish right before it hits the pan. Salt, pepper on both sides, vigorously seasoned. Skin side will go down once the pan is hot. Other than that, you'll have already had to have had your blanch pot for your broccolini, and you know the process of that already, so we're already prepped on that here. So now that the pans are getting hot, we're going to go a little bit of bacon fat in all 3 pans. For the salmon, for the puttanesca, and then for the broccolini. And then we're going to add a little bit of olive oil to all 3 pans too, just to raise the smoke point so we don't burn, but we keep that bacon fat flavor. This way you have bacon incorporated into the fish itself, into the sauce, into the broccolini, via the fat and the flavor. And then we'll have our lardons that'll be tossed into the salad at the end. So now the pan is warm. Salmon set it away from me, skin side down. If you do have skin, we're going to leave it a couple minutes. Just leave it alone. Don't touch it. That'll make the skin get nice and crispy. So in this pan, to start the puttanesca, we're going to go red onions. We'll saute these first before we hit it with our garlic. That's for Sfingione.
I love grilled onions. I could eat a plate of them.
So now we're just waiting on these to cook. These onions, I won't hit the broccolini just yet. And at this point, this is when you'd be prepping, or you'd have your second pair of hands prepping all of this, blanching your broccolini. You wouldn't necessarily have this pan on yet. I just have it on because I'm already there. So this is the julienne you're looking for, not a half moon. Like I said, cut down the ball bends, skin it, spin it to the side, then finally julienne. This is enough for 1 portion in the restaurant. So you're going to be doing about 2 portions this size for your main display plate, and then about 4, 5, or 10 portions, 2/3 of this size. So that way you can kind of gauge the amount of onions. You'll need about twice this much for your big presentation plate. Now the onions are sauteing, we're not trying to really get them brown or too soft. Now I'll go ahead and hit it with a good amount of garlic. This is about 1 fat tablespoon. You're probably going to use about 2 in your main presentation plate. Just break this up a little bit. You want to saute that. Now I'll go with the olives at the same time just to toast the oils in those. As well as the capers. I like to go ahead and get them in the pan so they become a little aromatic before you add any sauce or tomatoes. So now the salmon's starting to cook on the bottom, skin side down. If you're not cooking skin side down, cook this side down, the top of the flesh. That's just going to be a better presentation if you're not able to find it with the skin. So now we're gonna go into the oven with it. Now that it's been a couple minutes on the bottom, it's still not loose from the pan, but we'll leave it alone. So now that we've sweated our garlic, olives, capers, onions, all that good stuff, we'll go ahead and one of the half lemons that I've taken most of the seeds out of, really nicely in there. Whatever pulp goes in, throw the lemon in. Now you're going to use your red and gold diced tomatoes and chilies. And remember, we're not going to add any crushed red to this, although we traditionally would, because of the green chilies. But now we have something that's a little too thick, more of a topping, not quite a sauce. So we'll add a little bit of this juice, but we don't want to use too much because this has a lot of kick to it. And then this is where it's going to come into play with the Hunt's fire roasted tomatoes that I was telling you about with the basil and garlic. That's what you'll puree with your burr mixer. With a little bit of tomato paste, mix that in. Right now I'm using Parmigiano because it's what we have on hand. But the Hunt's is what's going to allow you to bulk it up and turn this into more of a puttanesca. So now that that's like that, I'll go ahead and hit it with a little bit of white wine. I'm not hitting it in the beginning with white wine because I actually want this to simmer and these tomatoes to come together. So we'll cook the alcohol out now. Also, we're going to go decent amount of salt, a couple fat pinches there. Nothing too crazy because we do have capers, even though they're washed or rinsed. We have the olives as well. We'll check the salt content in just a little bit. And we're not going to add more lemon right now either. We could, but we might pick up some acidity from the white wine. So now that just needs to simmer and do its thing for quite a few minutes.
Do you want me to pause it right now?
Yeah, go ahead.